Welcome back to MKE Gadgets. Today we're going to do some rust removing. And I recently bought this machinist vise on Craigslist for $15. What really interests me about this vise, there's no drill holes. A lot of times in vices when you drill through something and you drill into the vise, the front of the vise, the jaws, or the bottom here, and this thing's in really good shape. It's just a little rusty. Now here's my current drill press vise, and this thing is kind of big, but you can see where people, and probably myself, have drilled into it. And this thing is really heavy. It's got the speed draw on here, but sometimes it's just too big and then I don't use it. With this one, it's nice because it's flat, so you can drill standing up, or you can put a part in here. I wish the jaws had a step in here, because if you have something smaller drill, you got to place it all the way in the bottom. I went to the Ultra Mega Big Box store and bought some Evapo-Rust. Paid for it myself. This is not a sponsor. So I have 2 gallons. I'm gonna put into a 5-gallon bucket. A lot of people will buy 5-gallon buckets, but I know a kid who works at a fast food store and they go through a lot of pickles. So I got this pickle bucket. Another thing I bought at the Ultra Mega Big Box store is this seal. And once again, I paid for it myself. So the seal has an O-ring. So this will snap down on your 5-gallon bucket. I'll put my Evapo-Rust in there. And this will seal up real nice. So this will stop the Evapo-Rust from evaporating away. The next problem to solve is, once I take the vise apart, I got to dip it into the Evapo-Rust. And for that, I got a silverware tray. So if you watched my channel before, you know I got this off the curb. Whenever I see a dishwasher on the side of the road, I always stop and take the silverware tray. And these are nice for little parts. You can put them in your part washer. You can hose them down with your garden hose without the parts flying. So that's going to go in the bottom of the Evapo-Rust. First thing I got to do is take the vise apart. So when I brought the vise home, I sprayed it with a mixture, and this is half acetone and half automatic transmission fluid. I put in a spray bottle, and I sprayed all the fasteners and any kind of joint, the screw, just to loosen the rust. I let it sit for a couple days. So next we got to take it apart. With all the parts in there, now it's just a matter of time. I'll put my airtight cover on there. A little note what time I started. So we'll see you in a couple hours. Well, it's been 5 hours and the hardware came out real nice. I'm just going to set this on the side. The vise jaws are coming out really nice. I'm just hitting here with a Scotch-Brite pad. And that's some pretty deep pitting in there. The thicker jaw yeah, it's got some deeper stuff in here. I'll put that in again. This is the plate that slides back and forth underneath the jaw. It's got a little bit. Put that back in overnight. The movable jaw, oh, this thing's coming out really nice. It's just this one side has some pretty deep pitting. And the vise itself, one side is really nice, and then the other side has got some deep pitting. I don't know if this was exposed to moisture or something by the previous owner, but it is coming out. I think overnight, and this thing will be a lot better. So this is what 5 hours sitting in the Evapo-Rust will do. See you tomorrow. Well, it's been 23 hours since I first put this very rusty vise in the Evapo-Rust. And wow, I'm really impressed. In fact, I was going to take the paint off and repaint it, but I don't really think I'm gonna. Jaws got a lot cleaner. And this, I just pulled this out. I didn't hit it with a Scotch pad. If I hit it with a pad here, I think this would even clean up a little bit nicer. I'm really impressed with the Evapo-Rust. I've seen a lot of people use it on YouTube, and I thought, it doesn't work that well. And when I bought this vise, I had envisioned just doing this, seeing how good it would work. So in the future, when I go to a flea market and I see something rusty, I know what it will look like when I'm all done. So I'm gonna continue cleaning this up. Give me a few minutes to clean it up with a Scotch-Brite. I'll hit it with oil. I'll put it together. With the vise put back together and oiled up, it looks pretty good. This is the original jaws. I oiled them up and I'm going to put them on the side. And I made 2 jaws out of aluminum, and they're a little bit lower. I have a space down here, so if you're drilling for sawdust and chips to go in, it doesn't jam up the vise. If I have a plate like this, with the jaws being a little bit shorter, it will load into the top and I can drill. I don't have to worry about drilling into the vise. A nice feature here is the flat sides. On my other drill press vise, it had tabs for bolting it down. So if you want to drill on the end of this piece of hex stock here, if you put it in a vise like this, it could be on an angle. So if you got a little bit taller piece, and this is a handle, and I want to drill and tap in here, you turn your vise sideways and drill like that, and now you're going to drill a much straighter hole. So I thought about painting it, and it turned out pretty good. It cleaned up pretty nice, and I don't think I'm going to paint it. It's oiled real well. I'm going to use it for a while, see how much I like it. And I am just amazed that there's no drill marks on the top of the vise or on the bottom here. Some other vices I've seen at flea markets and online have all kinds of holes drilled in there. So hopefully I can keep this looking as good as it is today. So I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. And now I know if I go to a flea market or I see something rusty online, I know all I have to do is put it in Evapo-Rust. It will look a lot better. Put down in the comments if you've ever fixed up something that was rusty. Thank you for viewing. Please subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow. It will look almost as good as new. It will really look nice. It will clean up unbelievably.